Egypt continues to keep the same spirit of tolerance that it has been known for.
Caro popolo d'Egitto, assalamu alaikum.
Today, from Egypt, all religions take up the call of peace, equality and dignity of all humans.
Tahiyya mis.
Egypt unites humanity.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Al-Azhar and the Coptic Orthodox Church are set to organize a celebration today to mark the 10th anniversary of founding the Egyptian Family House. And to shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to have with us here in the studio His Excellency Ambassador Ayoub, Mahmoud Ayoub, former Minister Commercial. A very good morning to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning to you and to the viewers.
Now, Ambassador Ayoub, to start with, would you tell us more about the history of the idea of Egypt's family house, when and why it was established, the significance of the fact that it is headed also by Al-Azhar's Grand Imam Sheikh Ahmed al-Tayyib and the Pope of Alexandria, Pope Tawadros?
The idea, it was 10 years ago when Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, after the terrorist attack against the Two Saints Church in Alexandria, he initiated this process of rapprochement and coexistence with our Christian brothers and sisters. So he initiated the idea of establishing family house for the Egyptian family house, so that we can preempt any attempts to exploit any situation to the disadvantage of the community as a whole. This is one part of it. Other part of that, create bridges of understanding of the other, and this is very important. We need, by the way, there is no other. We are all one Egyptian entity. But the other person, the other person, he needs to understand, and we also need to understand how he thinks about it. So we need to create a basis for mutual understanding, which will be mutually beneficial for both the parties and for the community and for Egypt as a whole. So this was the idea.
What about the goals of Egypt's family house, and did it achieve its goal throughout those 10 years?
The goals are very important at this time in the process of development in Egypt, because in many cases you find that just a minor misunderstanding can escalate in a violence. We need, and this is the aim of this initiative, to preempt any misunderstanding and replace it with understanding between the parties. When there are common grounds there are a lot of common grounds between Christians and Copts in Egypt and the Muslims in Egypt, and by the way, they are both Egyptians.
Both
we cannot different.
Yes.
We are both Copts.
Copts means Egyptian, yes.
We are both Copts.
Yes.
So to create this common ground helps in preempting any misunderstanding and changing it to a mutual understanding, or let us say mutual cooperation, for are rowing in the same boat. It is as simple as that. We both, all the members of the community, we are rowing in one boat and the same boat, and we all have one goal. Every hand and mind should be used and every effort should be used to row in the direction which is stipulated by the president and the government.
Yes.
We need to increase areas of understanding and also to erase areas of misunderstanding. How can we do that? By explaining to the ordinary person or the ordinary citizen what is this and what is that, what about what. There are many common grounds between the Bible and the Quran, by the way. So let us focus on the commonalities between the two religions and expand it, so that everyone expand that he is or she is my brother or my sister, and we need to cooperate for the mutual benefit of both of us, and at the same time to preempt any attempt by terrorist organization or terrorist persons to exploit any situation to the disadvantage of the Egyptians themselves. This is very important. We need to block the way in front of the terrorist organizations who are trying in any way to exploit any mishaps here or action there to create violence and so on. We need to preempt it before it happens, and this can happen only when we understand each other and when there are many common grounds and when there are mutual communication between two parties. When there is good communication, we can easily preempt and foil any attempt to exploit the situation to our disadvantage. And let us say that there are terrorist organizations, whether in Egypt or in any part of the world. There are terrorist organizations and terrorist and extremists.
Terrorism
by the way,
is a global phenomenon,
it
and
is
the
a
whole
global
world
phenomenon,
now
yes.
is uniting to
Yes.
fight it.
We need to establish the understanding and explain to the ordinary citizen why this happened and how it happened and what are the repercussions on him, and be factual in this case. Whenever we explain to the ordinary citizen, as soon as any incident happened, we explain it, so we eliminate the rumors which many people try to create, so exploiting any happenings here or there to their advantage and to the disadvantage of the community as a whole. We need to create this understanding and common ground, and also loving the others. Why do we hate other people? In a region they don't say that. Whether Islam or Christianity, they love your brother or sister or the community. It is as simple as that. We need to create this fraternity mood between the citizens, so that they will be more cooperative with each other, and in this way we can develop as a nation or not only as a community.
Actually, the same ideas were voiced out by former US President Barack Obama. If you remember, sir, his famous speech in 2009, it was entitled A New Beginning, when he delivered that speech from
yes.
Cairo University.
Yes.
And he basically talked about the very same values and how all the peoples, whether of the East or the West, share the same values and face the same challenges as well when it comes to combating terrorism.
There are a lot of common values between the Egyptians since the time of the pharaohs. When they say don't adulterate the Nile, don't throw anything in the Nile, take care of your neighbor, and all these things also you can find it in Bible and in Quran. And in many verses in Quran and the Bible, which we all know, it encourages us to help each other, to cooperate with each other, and be considerate to my neighbor's needs and what he thinks about. It is a must that we cooperate with each other, and thanks, the President has inaugurated several conferences or symposium for the youth and for new generation, and it is very important that we focus on the new generation, because they are the leaders of tomorrow. We need to create this atmosphere of fraternity and the cooperation between all the citizens of the country.
Yes, and actually now we have a very important call with our dear guest in order to shed more light on the importance of the Egyptian family house. We have with us over the phone Dr. Atif Askar, distinguished Azhar scholar. Thank you very much, Dr. Atif, for being with us. Dr. Atif Awad Askar is a researcher and advisor at Al-Azhar Al-Sharif. Thank you very much, Dr. Atif. A very good morning to you. Good morning to you, Dr. Atif.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, sir. Now, as we are celebrating 10 years of the Egyptian family house, we would like to know from you the role of Al-Azhar and how it played an important role in establishing the foundation of the Egyptian family house.
Yes, actually, I'm so pleased to share in this talk, and I welcome your guests. I would like to say that it's not something new to Al-Azhar Sharif, and actually the family house was a really starting point of those who were talking about the Egyptian community,
Yes.
which combines between Muslims and Christians and even other sects of other religions along thousands of years. We would like to say that we will stay together and we will coexist together, and this is the spirit of Egypt and the spirit of Islam that we have lived together through thousands of years. So this point was a starting point, and I reply to those who were saying that Egypt started, to have some spirits of violence and some spirits of hatred and things like this. But actually right now, we are proving that Egypt, alhamdulillah, is witnessing a very different era, and we're proving that our history is not lost. And we will continue with this spirit between Muslims and Christians, inshallah.
Inshallah. Dr. Askar, would you shed more light on the role of Al-Azhar in spreading the values of tolerance, coexistence, and acceptance of the other?
Of course, yes. If you review most of the events that Al-Azhar has witnessed before, some of the quarrels and problems happened actually because of, this spirit of hatred that some people try to blow between Muslims and Christians. Al-Azhar, alhamdulillah, has done many problems. I can say that it's over 500 problems and 500 cases, along the 10 years. Alhamdulillah, we have proved to Egypt and to other countries around the world that alhamdulillah we will stay together and we will stay together and we will still live this spirit between Muslims and non-Muslims and even Christians, because actually Christians are part of this country and they have lived here, for a very long time of history. So we are completing each other and we are coexisting with each other. And this is what Al-Azhar is doing today by celebrating the 10th anniversary of the family house. And actually I like this name, the family house, because we are one family and one community and one environment. And we are facing the same problems. And we are coexisting with each other with every matter that we might face in this community, inshallah.
Yes. I would like to know from you, Dr. Askar, also the role of Al-Azhar in emphasizing and spreading the true image of Islam, the moderate religion, and also the role of Al-Azhar in combating extremist ideologies and bringing the youth together.
Someone the day before yesterday was asking me about the role of Islam in giving zakat to Christians in Egypt. I was saying this is not only recommended in Islam. It's actually obligatory upon the Muslims to give part of their money to those who are in need. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not make it only for Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it inside the Muslim community. As long as we are left together and we see someone who is in need, we must help him. We must coexist. We must show a tolerant spirit between Muslims and even non-Muslims if they are in need. This is what Islam is delivering, and this is the end that should be delivered actually, especially about Egypt. Because if you see the community between Muslims and non-Muslims, and especially Christians in the villages and most of the areas in Egypt, you will see that they are brothers and sisters living together. There is no any differentiation or classification or any kind of discrimination between any of them. Actually, I have seen lots of Christians who are my friends, my neighbors, and those who are not even in the street. We are one body, and we will stay like this, inshallah, forever.
Yes, one family, as the name says
It's an amazing name actually.
Yes, I'd like to thank you very much, Dr. Atif Awad Askar, researcher and advisor at Al-Azhar Al-Sharif. Thank you very much. And back again to you, Mr. Ambassador, because we were talking with Dr. Askar about the role of Al-Azhar, and I wanted to highlight here the role in terms of youth, because youth are the most needy segment in the society for guidance and dialogue, perhaps, if we may say. So how do you see the role of the family house in various aspects that brings youth together, like charity, like sports, for example?
It is very important role, whether for Al-Azhar or for the Coptic Church in Egypt, that they teach the new generation or the youth what they need to know and how they can do it and how they can cooperate in a pragmatic approach with the other segments of the community. What we are seeing now in many cases that the new generation has a lot of tools which were not available just 20 years ago. The internet and the social media is giving them a lot of possibilities and capabilities. So we need to harmonize it and put it in the positive way. That is to say, many organizations who are trying to infiltrate the community through the youth, we should be aware of what they do and what they say and answer it in a pragmatic approach and pragmatic answer. And also it is very important to create areas of interest or will I say projects for the youth to do. When I say the youth, it is boys and girls, Muslims and Christians of several places in Egypt. Let them come together in one camp and do some community work. And this is what we do in many NGOs. They are encouraging the youth through the Interact or Rotaract to implement community service projects, so that we are giving the youth tools to be self-coordinate, face the masses, and do something beneficial and teach them how to do it. Al-Azhar is doing, and the Coptic Church in Egypt are doing a vital role in teaching the youth what they do, what they can do, how can they do it, and how to finance it. And in many cases, the several NGOs who are working in the community helps the youth to create small community service projects which teaches them how to be helpful to each other and to their families and to the community as a whole. So the Al-Azhar and the Coptic Church of Egypt has a role to play. It is an important role, and it should be encouraged by all the citizens, not only the government, but also by all citizens, to encourage this role and bolster it and be a part of it.
Yes, actually you're touching upon a very important issue here, Ambassador Ayoub, the idea of unity, especially among youth. And I want to know from you how you see the role of Egypt's family house in fostering unity in particular, because as you mentioned, all these activities bring people together, and bringing people together bridges any gaps of misunderstanding that could be there or could be inherited from previous generations. How do you see that?
As Dr. Awa said, 500 cases of this number of cases which has been solved by the Egyptian family house. So this initiative by Sheikh Grand Imam of Al-Azhar and with the Pope Shenouda at the time and Pope Tawadros now, it helps to solve the problems before they are problems. It solves them at the early stage. Solving the problem at early stage is easier than solving it when it is complicated. So it is a vital role to preempt any problem. Why? When we say that we are creating understanding, it helps me to hear the other. And when I hear to him, maybe I change my attitude and I change my response. It is very important what they are doing now, whether the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar and Al-Azhar as a whole and the Coptic Church in Egypt, they are doing a vital role in educating the youth how they can cooperate together and how they create areas of interest and how we exploit or invest in our new generation to do better for themselves first and for the community and for the country as a whole.
Definitely. How do you see the vast number of countries calling for taking the Egyptian family house as a role model to be applied or implemented in other countries?
Because it succeeded, because it had fruitful and positive results, because it had tangible results which were felt by the community. When we see in the Upper Egypt, in Elmenia and Bani Suef and Sohag and this part of the, and many problems arise, and the family, Egyptian family house steps in to solve it before it flares up. This means that they are creating a good model for other countries to follow in their own way and in their own language. But as we are creating, let us say, a show window for organization in Egypt and for other countries, so we can cooperate together. And in this way, we are creating the right image about Egypt in the international forum, that Egypt is cohesive community, and we are cooperating with each other. We don't have this hate speech, we don't have it, and we should be from early stage bolstered and stopped by all the organizations like Beit al-Aila or Family House, the church and the mosque should cooperate in this respect.
And what would be the upcoming tasks for the family house? What would be the topics on that they
I
need
think
to
that
focus
they
on?
should create, or from my point of view, they should create small projects for the youth to implement. Let us say for literacy, for example.
Yes.
When they cooperate with each other, this family house, Egyptian family house or family home, when they cooperate in small projects and spread it in, especially in the countryside and in the remote area, in this way they are teaching the youth how they can sit together and think together and create small projects which will be successful, because all the hands are working in this project for its success. This is one thing. Other thing is that in many cases we encourage the citizens or the NGOs or the individuals to cooperate in financing small projects through the Egyptian family house, so that we create a respectable source of income for small families or for the landless or powerless or penniless families. And this is another area in where I spoke about the microcredit, and I spoke about literacy, and these are two of many areas in which family house can work, and the NGOs like Rotary can help them in this respect.
Definitely a great idea. I'd like to thank you very much, Your Excellency Ambassador Ayoub Mahmoud Ayoub, former Minister Commercial. Always a pleasure having you with us here in the Breakfast Show.
Thank you, and to the viewers.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more coming up here on this edition of the Breakfast Show.